The Susan Brender Show is a radio show online broadcasted on YouTube across the United States and globally. The show features guests who speak about health, spirituality, entertainment, and a host of subjects to enlighten people across the nation. Listen to the show that empowers women and men alike and highlights those who have made a difference.
I'm Susan Brender, and this is the Susan Brender Show. Today, my guest is Angel Westerman, who I've had on my show before. Actually, it was on my podcast, and she's the owner and CEO of Dependable Daughter. Now, the reason I want her on is because she's so passionate about incontinence care and committed to helping you find the best products. This is really something amazing and very important. They help managing incontinence a little less stressful for seniors and their caregivers. Her focus is exceptional customer service. They take the time to ensure each client has the right incontinence and personal care products to maintain their health and dignity. I want to welcome to the Susan Brender Show, Angel Westerman.
Thank you, Susan. I am excited to be talking with you and able to share information today.
You know, Angel, I'll tell you something. This is a very unusual program. What inspired you to do this type of business at this time?
I have been a senior living operator for 15 years. And so I have a whole lot of experiencing caring for hundreds and hundreds of people with incontinence. And I got really frustrated when I would see leaks and skin issues and urinary tract infections. And I just started asking myself, like, there has got to be something better, right? And so doing research, I found that there were a lot of products that were so much better that we didn't even know about. And if I'm a senior living professional and I didn't even ask this question for 10 years, I can only imagine what it's like for each person as they're coming into this for the first time. And so that's really why I'm doing this, is to help educate and provide them with the products that are really going to improve their life.
Okay, let's talk about this. What items do you sell besides incontinence supplies?
So in addition to everything that helps you manage incontinence, including, the gloves and wipes and creams, we do also carry some other like medical disposable items, like bandages or, wound creams, things like that. We also carry shampoos, things that people might need for their day-to-day lives that they, have trouble getting.
Yeah. What feedback have you gotten from the people who you sell the products to?
So many thank yous. There have been so many times that I have, talked to my clients who were maybe using, 2 pull-ups just to try to hold things, or maybe they were wearing a pull-up or a brief with pads inside of them. And to be able to find something that can take care of their issues, just one really premium brief or one great pull-up, is so much more comfortable, gives them their dignity back. And so they're so excited about this. Susan, the one that really stands out the most for me is a wife who called me, whose husband had dementia, and they were waking up in bed with wet sheets almost every morning. And she called me in tears one day to tell me how really finding a better product that lasted overnight has changed her life. She's comfortable sleeping with her husband again, and they wake up in the morning and things are dry and their day just starts out so much better than it had.
This is a very sensitive subject. How do the people that you speak to, how do they answer you when you say to them, this is what you need because of your problem?
It is very sensitive, but I think with all the experience that I've had, I do understand how to approach people. And really, we don't talk about, the embarrassing parts of it, but really focus on explain to me what's going on. Let's look at the type of incontinence you have, the flow that you have, and let me find something that's going to help and bring your dignity back. And really after that, it's a very easy conversation.
What kind of things can cause these issues? And is it only for the elderly or people of all ages rather? And is it a women's problem or a men's problem?
That's a great question. And most people don't think other people have it because no one's talking about it. But I will tell you that I have had women and men in their 20s actually as clients. So this really does affect men, women, and of all ages. We do talk a little bit about women. We all know maybe after having children, some women could have, leaks and accidents, but definitely all ages and for all reasons.
Yeah. So what kind of things are clients saying about your products? Because it sounds like your products are really working, and I'm sure that they are appreciative of this. So the question becomes, what are they asking you? What do they want to know, more or less?
They really want something that's going to help them stay dry and reduce leaks. And so that's what we talk about the most. And they are so excited when they can find one comfortable product that does the job.
Yeah. And the issue also is money. Money is a big thing for a lot of people, and they look for bargains. Do they come to you and they tell you that?
I love that you're asking this question, Susan. So I like to explain to my clients there's a difference between the price of each item and the true cost. And so am always very upfront. The price is going to be more for a premium product, but the overall cost is usually less. And why that is because people have to use more of a cheaper product. So maybe they're using 5 or 6 a day versus 3 or 4. There are also so many instances where one product they're buying, the bargain at, Costco and Walmart, they're having to add pads or sometimes use 2 at the same time. So using one premium product that price is higher will actually save them less.
Yeah.
So they're actually saving lots of money.
And I'm curious to know a story that you experience when you talk to people. Is there a particular person who talked to you about your product and really told you whether they liked it or not?
I would say about almost 100% of my clients call me and tell me how much better the product is working and that they're really staying dry. And that is the most important thing that I want to communicate, is that there is a difference between absorption and staying dry. So most products can absorb, but not all of them keep you dry. And they have a way of locking in the moisture, whereas some cheaper products can seem more like a sponge. They absorb a lot, but if you put pressure on them, like sitting or laying down, then some of that urine will kind of come back up and rest against the skin. So what my clients are really happy about is the fact that they actually stay dry. It absorbs and then locks in that moisture.
But how did you finance this project, Angel? Because I'm sure it's not cheap to have all of these things that you give to people. So I'm just curious, how did you finance this?
Really, I made, not a huge initial investment, but from there, it's really just been growing the business through happy customers that is, able to keep it. But we are, a very small business of one. I started it myself and have just continued to grow from there. And we have thousands of customers now.
Really? Now, the question also becomes, now that you've financed it and you have it on the market, is there something else that's coming up? Anything else that you can offer the people?
Yes, we are actually going to be launching other items as well soon. One is I really have a passion for technology that helps make lives easier for seniors and their caregivers. And so we will have some more technology starting to be available on the website, and also some supportive items as well, like adaptive clothing. Oftentimes, someone with dementia who's wearing an incontinent product, they will like to take off their clothes at inappropriate times. And so there are some very nice, very dignified adaptive clothing that you can use as well. And so I am talking and having partnerships right now where we can start offering those items as well.
And do you offer these items to assisted living? And I'm sure that they really think that you're doing a great job, because needless to say, they need it for their clients. and it's a really good opportunity for you to sell. So I'm just curious, are you selling to assisted living or any other, place that shows or has a lot of elderly people?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the ways I actually started. As a senior living operator, I knew exactly what communities would need. And that's one of the ways I launched the business was by making partnerships with senior living communities. And what they would do was as their clients moved in, they would refer them to me to provide all the products for them. The caregivers were so much happier, and not only the residents and the families, because they were able to provide better care.
Excuse me, Angel. I'm
Oh,
just
sure.
curious whether insurance covers it.
Insurance does not cover the products. There are some HSAs through their medical insurance that may do some reimbursements, but they do not cover for these products.
Okay, so let me ask you something. If somebody doesn't have the money to spend on a product like this, do you have like a foundation or a way for people to get the product?
So oftentimes I work with local organizations and I can refer them to some in their cities that will help. And what I do is I actually do donations to those organizations. And so that's how I will help people that don't have the funds.
If people want to get the product, how do they get it?
They can either go online to dependabledaughter.com or give our office a call and we will help them place that order and ship it out to them right away.
That's great. Now, the question that I asked before was to tell me a story. And I'm asking you again to tell me a story about the person who got in touch with you and said, I'm really suffering.
I have had several clients that have told me stories. Some of the most memorable ones are the ones that are having trouble sleeping overnight, and to be able to find a product for them that really lasts through the night and keeps them dry really changes their lives. When you start your day off waking up soaking wet, having to change your clothes, change the bedding, it really starts the day off negatively. And so, what I've heard over and over again is people telling me how it just changes their life, changes their mood, and their days start off so much better.
Do you talk to the children of these elderly people and tell them all about your products?
Yes. And so sometimes I'll speak with the seniors themselves, and other times when they need more care, I'm working with the families. And the families are absolutely ecstatic with the service as well because it takes all the guesswork out for them. And they know that they can provide their father or their mother with products that are going to help them stay dry, retain their dignity, reduce the chance of infections. And also we set up auto ship orders so they don't have to worry about ordering ever again.
I said to you that you're committed to this and passionate about it. How did that happen?
It really happened from all the experience I had as a senior living operator. And then once I found that there were so many amazing products out there and that people just didn't know about them. And so as I would see the way that they were changing people's lives, the way that they had dignity. A lot of times I saw that people were starting to not want to go outside. They didn't want to go to activities. They didn't want to go out to dinner. They would certainly not go to a movie. And once they really felt that confidence again, that they can enjoy going out and doing all of these things without having to be afraid that they were going to have an accident and get embarrassed, it really changed their lives. And it really helped them to not want to isolate and really get back out and engage with people. We are a small business. It is a corporation, but I am the sole owner and run the business.
Okay, but let's talk about your family. When you told them that you were getting involved in this business, what they say to you?
There were a lot of jokes, Susan. Absolutely. But because again, they really didn't understand much about it. But as I've explained to people what I do and why I do it, I was actually amazed at how many of my friends and family actually came to me and said, you know what? I kind of have some issues too. And so it's been great because it's really started the conversation for a lot of people. And they started coming to me going, I need help, or wow, my mom could use this, or my dad. And so I've really been able to help a lot of people.
Now, the people that you help there in the US, what about trying to get involved with the people around the world?
So I haven't had a chance to do that, but I am part of a organization called Aging 2.0 that does have a global presence. And so I am making connections with different companies and different, chapters all across the world and talking with them about it so we can make a global change.
Yeah, and this global change that you're going to make, are you going to offer all the products to them as you offer all these products to the US?
Yes, I would love that. It's all about building out that distribution channel.
So last but not least, I want to know, and I think our audience wants to know how they get in touch with you, where they can find your products.
Absolutely. So anyone who wants to go, search online, they can go to dependabledaughter.com or give our office a call if they want a free consultation and really get some individualized help. And they can reach us there at 888-822-3379.
I asked you to tell us how people get it, but I forgot to ask you this question. And that is, when we had the virus, the coronavirus, what happened to your business at that particular time?
It actually was such a great help for people, especially for those who used to go to the store. So we were able to help people all over the US. We have distribution centers across the US so that most shipping actually arrives within 1 to 2 days. There were a few delays, of course, during the pandemic, like everything else, using UPS and manufacturer back orders did happen. But for the most part, we really were able to help everyone.
Well, my guest today has been Angel Westerman, the owner and CEO of Dependable Daughter. I have to ask you this. How'd you come up with the name?
So really, I wanted to be that dependable daughter. So that's really how we came up with the name. Although I will say this does not mean that there are not some very dependable sons out there. Really, I wanted to be that dependable daughter to seniors who needed help.
Well, I want to thank Angel Westerman for being on the Susan Brender Show. It certainly is enlightening, and she is a great person who's come up with a really good idea to help people. And when you help people, there's nothing better than that. So thank you again, Angel, for being on the Susan Brender Show.
Thank you, Susan.